Okay, you've made it to the last video. Congratulations. Let's have a look at how we put together our portfolio and submit this for final assessment in the unit. Remember, your grade is determined by your portfolio, not just by the tasks that you submitted during the trimester. What is your portfolio? The portfolio aims to enable you to demonstrate everything that you have achieved in this unit. So we can put together all of the tasks that you've done together with our learning summary report into the portfolio itself. The portfolio format and assessment criteria document will outline how the different grades for the unit are determined. And so we can use this as a bit of a guide to see what it is we need to do to get these different outcomes. Ideally, you should already know this, but if you're not sure, you can check that document to give you an idea about how that works. In general, the assessment criteria sits together like this. We would need to have achieved different outcomes for pass, credit, distinction, and high distinction. When we assess them, then, we would look at, or each of these has different criteria. So for the pass, we had the pass tasks and the quizzes, as well as the learning summary report. Assuming you've met that, then you would get one of these three results. When we assess your portfolio, we'd start off by thinking that you would be awarded the middle result, so 55. And in that case, we would review the material in your portfolio, and if that material wasn't of good quality, there were poor reflections, poor learning summary, the code itself might not have been done perfectly in each case, then we would be looking potentially at the 53 result. If, however, when we look at it, we can see that there's good reflections, we can see a good summary of what you've learnt, then it would go up to 57. And the same thing applies for all of the other grades. With all of the results that receive 97 then, we would review all of those and look to see whether anybody deserves something more than that, something more than just 97 for the unit. In terms of the two HD ranges, there are a couple of HD tasks, the custom project as well as the something awesome task. If you've done the custom project to an HD standard, then you could get this first rung. If you've done both the custom project and something awesome, then we'd be looking at that second rung as well. So that's how those two are determined. So what's really important then is your learning summary report. This is going to summarize and highlight your achievements. You want to sort of tell your story. Where did you come from? What did you achieve in the unit? What did you learn? And where do you think you're at now? Where are you going to go next? Now, it won't matter where you started. You should be able to pitch that journey across the unit. So maybe you started without any prior programming experience. Put that in. Tell us what you found challenging, what you learned and where you got to, what you want to do next with these ideas. Conversely, you might have started with a lot of programming knowledge. How did this help you? What did you do to make sure that you used the best opportunity you could from this unit? What did you do to extend from where you already were to take you to somewhere even better? And where are you going to go next now that you've had this opportunity? What are you going to do as your next thing? It's about reflecting, what did you do? Where are you now? And where are you going? We'll provide a template which will give you an idea of how to do this in the learning summary report. We'll try to put in some helpful markers to indicate what it is that you need to provide in each of these different steps. Once you're done, you then log into OnTrack, and in OnTrack there is the portfolio submission wizard. We'll have a look at that in a second. Step through that, upload your learning summary report as well as the other documents that it needs. You can add extra files and it will create your portfolio. It will pull in all of the tasks that you've already completed in order to combine that together. So it's only the extra files that you need to add, if there are any, and there doesn't need to be. The weightings and rationales that you provided with each submission will go into be part of your portfolio. So this is part of the reflections that determine your grade. So in here where you've described what you've got out of the task, how you felt it related to the task, all of that determines or will help determine your grade. It provides evidence that you've met each of the learning outcomes. So when we look at this table here, you should be able to see that you've got coverage on each learning outcome to different levels. And you can then tick to include the ones that you want to include, or you could leave them all ticked and include everything. Only things that are not related can't be included. If it's not related to the unit, then no need to submit that. We want things to demonstrate what it is you are achieving in this unit. Let's have a look at how to do this in OnTrack. So here I've logged into OnTrack, and it doesn't look like I'm doing too well, but at least I've got a couple of files submitted. Let's create my portfolio. I can come in here, go to Portfolio Creation, and step through this 6-step wizard. First step gives you an idea of what we're going to do. I should indicate that I've read the assessment criteria, and then indicate the grade that I believe I have achieved. This will be important, as when we are assessing your portfolio, we'll be using this to guide our expectations when we read your portfolio. So make sure you set this correctly. Then you upload your learning summary report. Now in week 10, you had the opportunity to provide a draft for this. If you did that draft, that's great. We would have given you feedback. You can then incorporate that feedback to make sure you've got the best possible learning summary report. At this point, you then just upload your finalized version. Once you've got that version uploaded, you're ready to move on to the next step. On the next step, you'll be provided with all of the tasks you've completed and how you ranked them against each of the learning outcomes. Check that you've covered each learning outcome, because if you haven't, then that indicates that you don't believe that you've actually demonstrated all of the unit learning outcomes. We want to make sure that we're covering off all of these to make sure we're really understanding everything we needed to do in this unit. You can include or exclude different tasks as you want. And you can update the reflections here if you want to indicate that some are connected that weren't previously connected. Once you've done that, you can upload any additional files that you want in this location here. These will be added to your portfolio. You might include things like extra study notes or extra material that you've worked on, anything that you've done or interacted with that you felt was of benefit to you and demonstrates what you've achieved in this unit. At the end, we create our portfolio. Done. It takes a little while, but the portfolio is now being processed, and you should receive an email if your notifications are set up to receive that. We'll tell you when it's ready. You can then come in here to download it and upload it into the unit site. Thank you very much for your attention and for sticking with us through these videos. I hope that you've learned a lot in this unit. Regardless of where you started, you've used this as an opportunity to learn more about programming and become more excited and enthusiastic to get better at these tasks. Good luck with any other exams you have in other units, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you achieved in your portfolio. Thanks.